Ezekiel Elliott has taken to Twitter with some thoughts for his critics, reading in part. Here's the first one. There are a lot of great backs in the league, but I don't understand why the media has to talk down on my game just to uplift other backs. We all are talented football players and can ball. The second one, check the stats. Since I entered the league, I've dominated year in and year out. Put some respect on my name. Almost 1,800 scrimmage yards and 14 TDs with no training camp, and now I'm not the same back. We had to bring in the big guns for this debate/discussion. Six-time Pro Bowler, friend of the show, LeSean McCoy. Shady, so good to have you with us. We will get to you in just a second, but Stephen A., you're up first with these Zeke comments. What are your reaction to his tweets I just shared?
Well, you know what? I don't know why he's paying much attention to it. It's all talk. At the end of the day, this brother is an elite running back in the National Football League. He's handling his business. He's good for 1,300 yards at least every season when he's healthy. We know what he brings to the table. We know that the Dallas Cowboys are more relevant when he's on the field than when he's off of the field. And the bottom line is that he should leave the talking to folks like myself who can't play, as opposed to somebody elite like him who's clearly shown he can play. That would be the smart thing to do, because in the end, if the offensive line ain't blocking for you, if they ain't calling the right plays or whatever the case may be, it can hinder you. Last time I checked, there were times last year when Jason Garrett elected not to give him the football. See, that wasn't the fans, that wasn't the media, that was your own coach stopping you. These are the kind of things that he should pay attention to moving forward, in my estimation.
Well, look, he's upset if people are talking down his game, and people shouldn't. Zeke is a great overall back. He's the most well-rounded back in the game presently, I think. I don't think that makes him the best. Most well-rounded is not always the best. There's some guys who can hit home runs, and even if they're not as well-rounded, you'd rather have the home run hitter at times. Okay. And I don't have Zeke as the #1 back, but he's a little bit trying to have it both ways here. Because on the one hand, he says, why do you have to talk down my game? There are all these great backs in the league, and I'm one of them, and I can ball. The problem is this, Zeke. When you talk about being elite, which you are, by the way, that only means in comparison to your peers. Because if you take 32 teams, you're not elite if there are 32 elite backs, one on each team, and therefore you're all about as good as each other. Then there's no such thing as elite. You have to be able to plot it on a bell curve, right? And the far right end of the curve, those are the elite. By definition, there can only be a handful out of 32 teams. There will only be a handful of teams who have elite backs. You're one of them. But the only reason we come to that conclusion is not because we judge you in some vacuum. It's because we compare you to your peers. And in my estimation, there are some, not many, but a handful, at least 3 of them, who I think are better than you. I don't think that's disrespecting your game.
Well, I'll say this. Anytime, Stephen A., you got a question like this about the running backs, give me a call. You got my number personally. I agree with Zeke. I'm tired of every year a back or a player has a good year, maybe a good flash, and then they want to crown him like he's the best. Nah, Zeke is the best running back. It's so hard to continue to have a great year over and over again and be consistent. That's hard to do, especially when the defense has time to prepare for you, to know about your game. You don't have to dissect everything about your game. And each year he puts up numbers. The biggest thing he said that I love, he said, I put 1,800 yards up, 14 touchdowns with no training camp. That's big dog talk. There's a lot of great running backs out there, but there's nobody like Zeke that has always been consistent and taking over that offense when they need to. I agree with him.
What do you say about folks who believe that Saquon Barkley is better?
I think Saquon Barkley might be the most talented running back in the game, him and maybe McCaffrey. But as far as putting the work in each year, I mean, he's new. You got to go out there and keep doing it. You know, like each year, Zeke is producing. I think that Saquon, I love Saquon's game. He's probably the best player I've seen as far as every level from speed, strength, power, being elusive. I think he's number 3 right now. I think number 2 is McCaffrey. In about 3 years, I think we'll be looking at another guy like Adrian Peterson type of game will take, you know, for years to come. And I think he's the next one.
But that's the problem with doing these kind of lists is that, or who's the best, is that especially players I notice, they want to say who's done it consistently, who's proved it over time. The problem is you're taking a snapshot, and especially at a position like running back, it's in flux. Guys who are all-world one year start to decline the next. Injuries, the offensive line changes, they get a little older. As you say, defenses focus on them, whatever the case may be. And so to try to kind of put your finger in the wind and see who right now is the best involves some projection, some thought about where they're heading and all that stuff. And you have to take talent into consideration and what you last saw into consideration. I can't consider Ezekiel Elliott better than McCaffrey right now. And I suspect that Saquon's better than both of them based on college and his rookie year. And then last year he was banged up and the Giants weren't any good. But if I had to predict who'd have the best season this year, I'm going to say Saquon 1, McCaffrey 2. And if Dalvin Cook can stay healthy, maybe Dalvin Cook 3.
I love Cook's game. I really do. I don't think he's in the top 5. When you look at all the backs, see, this one thing, right? You got to look at, if I'm a defense and Zeke has a great year, boom. The next time we play him, right? Or next time the team watches him on tape, we're going to take him out the game. So when you consistently do that each year, year in and year out, that shows you how good you really are. For example, a couple years ago, they were praising so much of David Johnson. And I thought he was a good back, but, 1 year, 2 year, I can't really, crown you yet. You got to consistently – this league is hard. It's getting better and better each year. I remember the days with Chip Kelly, we were killing everybody with the fast tempo offense. Once teams had an off-season or 2 off-seasons to digest it and see what it is and dissect everything about it, that's when things changed. So that's when you really can tell who's a great player, man, that can put numbers up. In any sport, you look at that. So that's my argument with who's the best back right now. But then again, you can go with McCaffrey because he's a heck of a back. He's one of my favorites, and also Barkley.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.